Hi guys, this is Joe Goodspeed, signature tire for Fulling Mill. I'm here in my personal home lair and I'm going to be tying this crayfish pattern, which is a kind of evolved version of my existing Joe's Mini Crayfish jig that Fulling Mill sells. I've got a 140 denier brown colored Fulling Mill thread. It's going to be the thread for the fly. This is a goat hair. The goat is a very fine material. I'm going to use a pretty thin clump of it. And this is going to be the antenna of the crayfish. I'm going to trim this about the same length as the overall shank of the fly. This is a size 6 hook with two 4.6 millimeter beads. The color isn't really important. Here I have a silver one and a ruby colored one, but it's a slotted and a countersunk bead of that size, and that's the important thing. The next part of this fly, which is different than the original crayfish jig, which had some rabbit hair in there, this fly has dubbing. So this is a ginger colored Fulling Mill Eco Rabbit dubbing that we're going to use. I'm going to take a tuft of the dubbing and I'm going to tie it right in, coming out the back of the fly, and then anchor it down. I'm going to do that before the weight for the pattern, before the underweight. So right now I'm going to measure out 7.5 inches of 0.025 diameter. You could use a lead or a lead substitute, but with the the 0.025 diameter, 7.5 inches, I'm going to start by folding the end of it over double. And then I'm going to tie that in along the shank on the bottom. Now I'm going to use the rotary aspect of the vise to wrap a layer of this, and then it's going to double over back, but it's not going to make it all the way to the back. That 7.5 inches is going to leave a stair-step shape. I'm going to double it up here. Ends. Like that. I'm going to wrap this 140 denier thread over it a little bit, and then go back to the bend of the hook. Now I'm going to use the same Eco Rabbit dubbing, and I'm going to get the dubbing onto the thread and make a ball here at the end. I'm going to cover up the I'm going to use a little bit more dubbing than that. I want to make sure I fully cover up the lead transition there at the end of the fly. All right, good. Okay. The next part of this fly is going to be a pair of mono eyes that I'm going to use 25-pound P-line chintzy that I'm going to melt with a lighter and then color with a black Sharpie on the ends, and then I'm going to tie this in so that those eyes align with the bend of the hook where they stop. Okay, so I tied those eyes in so the balls of the melted part of the mono are aligned pretty closely with the bend of the hook here. And then I'm going to go back to the same rabbit dubbing, and I'm going to make another layer of dubbing here to cover up the area where I tied in the eyes. Okay. Now I am going to go into the claws. Okay, well, we're going to go right into making the claws for this fly, and right now I have the fulling mill Flex-Floss, where this is going to be a size where I use 4 strands of the Flex-Floss, and right now I have 2 strands of PMD, 1 strand of Calabatus, and 1 strand of March Brown, making up the 4. So I'm going to gather up the 4 strands so they're all about starting in the same place. And then I'm going to tie them into an overhand knot. I'm going to pull pretty tight. I'm going to come through and I'm going to trim just a little bit beyond that knot so there's a little bit of a flare at the end. That's the easy part. Now, trying to keep these strands all in line with each other, I'm going to leave about an 1 3/4 inches to 2 inches, and I'm going to tie another overhand knot. And then I'm going to go and trim that at the same distance. So there is a 4-strand set of claws. So the way that I anchor the claws is I will fold the claws around once over the mono to make sure that they're kind of centered, and also that makes sure they can't slip. And then once I have those anchored, I'm going to tug them to the sides of the fly and kind of hold them with my fingers on the sides to make sure that they're getting set at the angle that I want, because I want those claws to sit at a 45-degree angle, and at a 45-degree angle I want the knots in the spandex to be close to aligned with the bend of the hook, which is where they're sitting here. So this is a good claw alignment for the fly. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap a little bit more thread over that spandex to get that cinched down. You'll notice on the structure of the fly that the claws aren't going out the back of the fly, but they're actually anchored closer to the center of the fly. And a good reference is here. The claws are tied in straight below the tip of the hook. So that's a good, if you have the claws tied in straight below the tip of the hook and at 45 degrees, the knots from the claws are close to where the bend of the hook is, that's the right structure for the fly. That's what I'm looking for. So I keep a, this is, it's a different color, but this is a size reference and a shape reference for another size 6 crayfish fly that I liked the final proportions of it a lot. That fly is actually one that a big trout broke the hook eating it, and so Dom, who's filming this, was there with me last year when I pulled that out. He said he remembered me having a fish break that hook when it ate my fly, which was very sad. Okay, so now that these claws are anchored, I'm going to take that dubbing and I'm going to make a loose dubbing application on the thread and wrap that over the remaining length of the shank. Okay, so I did that. I'm going to wrap my thread back through that loose dubbing right to the base of where the claws are. Okay. Now I'm going to take a Schlappen feather. This is a fulling mill Schlappen. This is tan colored Schlappen. I'm going to look at the feather, and I'm looking to use the transition where the feathers are getting longer. So this is going to be the area of this feather that I'm going to use. I'm going to tie it in on the tip end. I'm going to tie it in on the side of the fly along the claw. So I'm intentionally going to be wrapping all through this dubbing on the body, so I know that that's going to get all wrapped over right now. I'm going to wrap back towards the eye up to the second bead. Now I'm going to do 3 turns of the Schlappen. 1, 2, and on that 3rd turn, I'm going to tie over it with the thread and tie it off and clip it tight. Now I'm going to wrap right back over this feather to the base of the claws, and that's going to make sure that feather is never going to break or break free from the fly. I've got a lot more material here than I need, and I'm going to trim it a little bit. For the starters here, I'm going to trim it on the top of the fly. I'm going to take all these feather fibers sticking up and trim them down. So I trim that down. I'm also going to trim a little bit of what's here on the bottom right along the center axis of the fly. So I've still got plenty left. Okay. Now it's time for the shellback on the fly, and this is a bit of a tricky process to anchor this down. I have this piece of Duraskin material, which is 35 millimeters long by 8 millimeters wide and tapered on one end. The Duraskin has a texture on one side, it's smooth on the other side. I'm going to take the smooth side, face that down. I'm going to take the tapered end and push that all the way to the back to where the bend of the hook is, and then I'm going to pull it forward just a little bit. Now I'm going to make 3 turns with my 140 denier thread. 1, 2, 3 over the top. So this is a position right now. I could still move this around. Right now I have it tied right square where I want it. I have that tapered piece coming out near where the eyes are. That all looks good. I did 3 turns. Now I'm going to make 1 turn underneath the Duraskin, and then there's going to be 3 bands of thread. I'm going to make 2, and then I'm going to fold around and make the 3rd where I anchor off the fly. So I made 1 band, I came underneath. I'm going to make the 2nd band, same thing, 3 turns, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to come back underneath with the turn. Now, this is very important. I have the 2 beads up here in the front. I'm going to jump my thread over between the beads. And I'm going to take a pretty generous tuft of this rabbit dubbing here. I'm going to wrap that around the outside, 2, 3 turns of that. So it looks like that's a mess. But that's what I want, is I want a mess of material wrapped around the outside of where those beads are, because that's going to cover up those beads and make them less visible with the shiny surface of the metal. So, okay. So that's intentionally kind of messy there. Now what I'm going to do is pull my Duraskin forward over the eye of the fly and take a fine point pair of scissors, and right where the eye is touching the Duraskin, I'm going to make a tiny cut with the scissors so I can pull that material over the eye of the 90-degree jig. And I'm going to use this to help push that over. So now I've pulled my material over the eye of the hook such that I would be able to thread the hook on. Now I'm going to flip my vise over and fold that tail over, and I'm going to wrap the thread so it sits right between where those two beads are. That's going to allow the thread to have a little bit of a pinch point that's going to help form the shape of the tail. And I'm going to make 1, 2, 3 turns there. I'm going to take this tail and I'm going to cut it into a little V, like that. And I'm going to make a whip finish around the outside. For durability, it's a good idea to use some sort of a glue or a lacquer to cover up the thread there. At this point with the fly, it's nearly done. I have that under wrap of thread, and I'm going to come back through with a pair of pliers, and I'm going to squeeze that flat there on the final fly as much as I can. And sometimes I'll trim them a little bit more down here on the bottom to get a certain amount of material. I don't want the Schlappen to be too congested. I want there to just be a fair amount of it sticking out the back, but not so much that really clumps up the fly and slows it down and breaks up the structure of it. So there's that fly. I'm still going to take that one and squeeze it flush, but that's a nice brown color scheme, and I like the proportions of it where the eyes are aligned with the bend of the hook and the knots on the claws. They folded back, they're a little bit beyond the bend of the hook right now, but as long as when they're at 45 degrees when you set them, that they're close to being aligned with the bend of the hook. The claws can be a little bit beyond it. The eyes should be aligned well with it.
Looks real good to me.